A lot of startups are asking this question of, should I be increasing the R&D budget or the sales budget? A lot of founders are going through that same question is coming up on the board discussions, and the question is simple, but the answer is not. So let's dig through what's happening now, especially with the current economic situation. Everybody is strategizing their budgets. They want to float around or even thrive sometimes for the next couple of quarters. And that means right now, what should I be doing that gives me edge in providing the value to the customers and then also bring in revenue? Previously, investors definitely have put in a lot of emphasis on the user growth versus the revenue growth, but that honeymoon period is over. At this point of time, every startup, pre-seed, seed, series A, doesn't matter which stage that you are in, it's about making sure that you provide the value and you bring in the revenue. Thomas from Redpoint Ventures, he brought in a great article yesterday looking at all the public companies. So let's review what we have there. So again, I will post this link, and the biggest thing that we see here is the question of what is the R&D spend as a percentage to revenue increase. And that's where you see in the past couple of years, the R&D spend kept increasing. And one thing that you would definitely see, especially this is a public software SaaS company data, so that doesn't necessarily translate to private companies or early stage companies that way. So it's super difficult, of course, to get an aggregate of what private companies are doing. So when you see this growth in R&D spending, the one thing that would come to mind is there are a lot of public companies that are product-led growth focused, and all these companies are doing one thing well, right? Which is to say, yes, sales-led motion is important for sure, but at the same time, I want to make sure that the product is able to self-serve the customer, whether it is from the onboarding point of view, the value creation point of view, and then the more you bring in product features that help folks to come together and then adopt and the product usage, the more it is for any company, right? So that's what you see this spike in the last couple of years where public companies especially are spending more time, energy on the product growth. And the article goes on talking about what does it mean for the sales-led and the product-led growth and everything. But in general, what we see is if it is a sales-led growth companies, there is still the R&D is increasing, but not in proportion to the product-led growth motion. Now, let's come back. What does it mean for you? Let's say if you're a pre-seed, seed, or Series A company, there are two parts that we recommend, right? The first one is in the product strategy side of it and product management side of it. Make sure that you review your roadmap for the next couple of quarters and make sure that there are no net new products that you're releasing, because it is a common fallacy for many early stage startups to say, oh, you know what, the more products that I bring into the market, the more revenue, the more channels and everything. But one thing that you'll realize quickly is that's false. And sometimes it also creates a death spiral within a startup where you create more products and then the product that is there on the most revenue generating side of it, it quickly dwindles down because there is no energy spent on this revenue generating product, but then we are looking at other products. So please make sure that you are looking at very focused approach on one product, multiple revenue channels. If you can, make sure that you bring in the revenue and the entire company, all hands on deck in selling and bringing in more customers. That's number one. On the sales side of it, make sure that you are looking at what's working, what's not working, especially from the point of view that what is the pipeline that you have, what's the conversion rate, and even with the conversion rate, can we make the conversions better, and what are the ways that we can empower some of these, whether it is SDRs, BDRs, whatever sales structure that you have, but how can you reduce the sales cycles is a very crucial angle that you need to look into. Make sure that for the next couple of quarters, you survive, you make sure that you are bringing the value. And most importantly, you want to have the customers who are using your product, who are adopting your product and the value. That's very